All right, and the early game in the South in Atlanta. What a matchup. Loyola-Chicago, the Ramblers against the Wolfpack of Nevada. 30 wins for Loyola, 29 for Nevada, and the Ramblers have won I think it's 20 of 21. The best part about this story is, other than Sister Jean, they returned everybody last year. As the big kid down low's a freshman, you have Custer and Ingram, and they're a joy to watch. Beautiful offense, pump fake, kick, pass, penetrate, dish, shoot the three. Also, I think only the fourth team to get to the Sweet 16, winning the first two games with a game-winning shot in the final 10 seconds of both games. But they're fun to watch. They have great numbers on offense and defense. They don't foul, and they shoot the three well.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talk about what does it take for a mid-major to make it this far. Well, you got to have some good players. But more than anything, you got to have solid fundamentals. And Loyola-Chicago is the picture of solid fundamentals. You look at the graphics, all right? Offensively, look at that. Number 7 in effective field goal percentage. Number 14 from beyond the arc. Number 13 from inside the arc. Assist per field goal, number 24. All of those elite-level offensive stats that show execution, fundamentals, defensively. Similar impressive statistics. Number 27 overall, number 35 effective field goal percentage. They don't foul. Number 16 in free throw attempts per field goal attempt. Those are really solid fundamental numbers. And given their first two matchups, the fundamentals were huge. Who'd they play? They played Miami and Tennessee. Well, look at the graphic. Miami and Tennessee, a combined one senior starter. Loyola, of course, has 2. And, of course, we're talking about Miami and Tennessee, a pair of teams that started a combined 5 sophomores and 2 freshmen. They were young. They made mistakes. Loyola didn't. And that was a difference maker. Of course, you look at the assist to turnover ratio in the 2 ball games, which shows Loyola very clearly avoiding mistakes, having great execution, in sharp contrast to their opponents and their youth, who made a ton of mistakes. The assist to turnover ratio much better for the Ramblers than they were for their 2 opponents.
Yeah, awesome. And one correction: Ingram is a senior, so they would lose him, but get almost everyone back next season. Now here's Nevada. Unbelievable. They've led for a combined 4 minutes in the first 2 games, and they're in the Sweet 16. Down 14 against Texas. They win in overtime. Down 22 with just under 11 minutes left, and they beat Cincinnati. They were 22-1 in play against Cincinnati, and they were a big plus 650 to come back against Texas. What if they actually get off to a good start? They only play 6 players. They don't have depth, but hey, didn't matter. That's why they weren't supposed to come back against Cincinnati, but they're loaded. And they have Caroline down low, and the Martin brothers have been terrific. Musselman, former NBA coach, doing a great job, taking the shirt off, going crazy, the F-bombs. Quote, we told them, guys, we're down 22 on the biggest stage we'll ever play on. You can't hide. We've got to compete. We've got to battle. And then they started talking in the huddles. They scored 32 points down the stretch against a great Cincinnati defense, and they got a lot of stops, too. They've been terrific in the second half, but get off to a good start for once.
Yeah, well, and when you talk about a lack of depth, this really might be one of those unique situations where the lack of depth has worked in Nevada's favor. They have better chemistry because the guys are on the court all the time together. How much does this chemistry help ball handling? Look at the numbers from the Wolfpack's 2 tournament games. The field goal attempts, the free throw attempts, the turnovers. That's a tremendous ratio of shot opportunities versus turnovers. They just don't make a lot of mistakes in terms of offensive execution. Of course, you talk about Musselman, former NBA head coach. You talk about the Martin twins, 2 guys with NBA. Well, I believe they'll play in the NBA, both of them. But the NBA coach and NBA talent on Nevada.
Yep.
And, of course, when you talk about the issues with conditioning, look what's happened in the second half of these 2 ball games. Nevada, on second half and overtime. Nevada 104. Cincinnati and Texas 77. They've outscored them by 27 points in the second half. How's that happening? Conditioning. I read 3 different articles talking about Musselman saying this team's in the best shape that they've ever been in their life. And, of course, they play in Reno, altitude, over 4,500. The Mountain West road games, look at the venue. Wyoming, Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, Colorado State in Fort Collins, up in Logan, all high-altitude venues. That's helped them conditioning-wise. It might help them in the second half of this one if Sister Jean's magic starts to run thin in the second half. I think Nevada has a chance to dominate the game.
Yes, very good. Get back to this coming up. Up next, we turn on the shot clock. Who's the team to beat moving forward? Let's get another one with the play of the day coming up on SportsBit 2.0. Betting Insight today on SBRpicks.com.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.